What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I am officially back from Florida, back from all the craziness of travels set up. Got the full system. I am ready to go. I hope you guys are feeling good today. I hope you guys are feeling incredible. Chuck says I can hear you now. Perfect. BEA, beautiful. That's half the battle. That's half the battle right there. Job pretty much done. Crazy. Let's see who we got piling in the house. We got, of course, Chuck. Good morning, Agnes. We got Al. Good morning, Alex. Attorney Dan. Do. I was trying to do the Law and Order or Law and Order song right there. I don't know. Returning to ESPN real quick for some reason. Bill, good morning. We got Brian Carey's in the house. Good morning, Chris. Christopher's with us. Good morning, Eric Fayaz, Jeffrey, GWJ, Jill, Lawrence, Lucian, Marissa, Rick. We got Rock in the house. We got Ron. Good morning, Ron, Sue, Tana, Tony, Win. Yes, sir. Yo, Varus is with us in YouTube land. We got Pat. We got Jerome. We got the rest of the fam in YouTube. I see you guys there just sitting back quietly, not commenting, but it's all good. It's all good. All right, let's figure out this market. Let's see. We got the SPY. We'll kick it off with first. There we go. We got Ernesto. We got Jeff. There we go. I knew we had some just lurkers in YouTube land, but we got them. That's half your job in YouTube land. The other half, you got to give that thumbs up as well. You got to throw the thumbs up as well. It's a good morning. It's a great morning. We got 27 more minutes until the market opens. Let's roll. We got SPY. We have a little bit of a divided market today. You'll see what I mean in a little bit, but we got the indices with a little bit of a gap down. Individual like speculation companies kind of pushing up higher. So a lot of those companies that were just overly beaten down is continuing that bullish run. The indices itself is just annoying. I mean, we're still jam-packed in this just range of trading sideways, right? We don't have a clear break yet. Yesterday was a nice little high wave. Normally, even on this high wave, you would say, okay, if we break this 415, great. We're gonna probably push higher after a nice high wave with good volume that came in yesterday. Same thing if we break lower. But to both those extents, even if we do break that high wave, we're still dead in the middle. We got 416 is probably target before we maybe get some more resistance that comes in. And then to the downside, we have this nice little uptrend. We did talk about some of the trends yesterday, how to draw some of the trend lines. We did a little bit of back trading on those, but still got this little bit of a trend line. We also got VPOC. The last notable VPOC is 407.37. So if we do break today's low, that would probably be target. I don't know what else we'll get this thing. I don't know what else will cause this market to sell. But we're just hanging out, right? I think honestly we go either way, and I think right now at least the strategy going forward for today, tomorrow, until we really start making a move and either the elevator opens up and the floor just drops out from under people and you're like, okay, short, or we get some kind of massive move on, I mean, I don't know what, but it's, if we do start pushing higher, fade any rips, we still drop lower, we're sitting to the lows of yesterday, just buy the dips. I think that's the play that I gotta stick with it. It's gonna make, I mean, scalpers could probably have some fun. Maybe we'll do some scalping today. We'll see. There might be some good gaps. We'll get to them for sure. David's got TDD. Hope that gets cured. I don't know what TDD is. Guessing it's a ticker symbol. We'll see. We got QQQ. So again, inside day, we do have a decent VPOC from yesterday, 305. No, I got you. just kidding, Stephen King. We got 305.70. We'll call it 305.91 is the VPOC from yesterday. We have another one sitting somewhere at, I don't know, 306.16. So kind of a heavy resistance. And again, we have support, few levels of support right here, and a much bigger one if we do start a very hefty sell, which honestly, we'd have to break this 304 on the Qs. That would get us probably back down to 299.29, so somewhere just under 300. That would be a little more significant, just as, I mean, again, that could be still a bounce spot. We're not really quite out of the chop yet, but at least that would take us below the 10 EMA. Anytime we sell, we still have that 10 EMA on daily, still prop us up a little bit, and we've kind of just held it. We are making lower lows. We're making lower highs on any of these moves. So chop zone, just straight chop zone. I don't think today's going to be much different. Let's see if we got some other notable moves, at least, that I was looking at. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, Warren Buffett sold a decent amount. I think he went from about 60 million. Was it 60 million in shares or 60 million? I think it was like 60 million in shares down to like 8, whatever the case. But he sold a hefty amount of this. So this one obviously gapping down. Warren Buffett does have the probably one of the last effects on the market. CPI doesn't matter. Alien invasions don't matter. Just Warren Buffett selling is the only thing that kind of markets are looking to at this point. Even with this gap down, so this is a nice gap and go on TSM. I would think short, but we do have. I don't know if this is going to fade immediately at open. So we do have a little bit of support. We're sitting at that now. Honestly, I think if we're going to short this thing, we have to wait. I think we get some kind of a bounce up higher, and then we look for some kind of rollover. So out of the gate, it looks decent. I have it high on my list. We're going to watch it. If we start getting closes below 91.51, then I'll be a little more excited to say, okay, let's see if we get some more momentum on this thing. Let's see if we get some more down pull. But right now, we are sitting at a little bit of some type of support. Hector says, "How was Mickey's hood?" Pretty expensive. I didn't realize. I mean, everyone complains a dozen eggs are like $5. You eat those eggs with Mickey, they're $200. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, Mickey was making inflation cool before inflation was actually cool. So I don't know, but all in all, it was pretty good. And then you get the extra bonus of some sunburn and some peeling skin. You can't really be too upset with that. All right, we got Airbnb. Yeah, Chuck says Tesla's gapping up. So yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that one as well. But the kids have fun. I mean, I'm a big kid too, so I had some fun. Not gonna lie. Airbnb had earnings. They did pretty well with the earnings. It's come down a little bit pre-market from the highs. I saw maybe somewhere around 134 early this morning. I think I've been up since like 4 in the morning today. I was so pumped. I was waiting here. The room was open. Nobody was coming in. I'm waiting on you guys. We could have got started at 4 a.m. Otherwise, if we're looking at least some longer term pockets of liquidity, we're probably sitting right around where we gapped into. So this one actually might be a fade lower. It's going to be a tough short, but I think going short on this one will be the right play. This is technically a retest gap. Again, we're going to fight earnings, right? It's got some positive news behind it, but for right now, if this starts to fade, kind of the spot, we don't really have any real interest from some of the bigger guys, probably really until 123. I'd pull my shares a little bit sooner, maybe 125.50, something like that, but or at least take some partials. But we'll see if we could fade this one at least. I mean, technically it's a retest gap. It did gap into some notable resistance. What I would actually love to see is we get 1 or 2 green candles on this one, something that gives us a better level to say, here's our entries, here's our stops. Let's trap some more additional bulls. But again, I mean, there's a lot of bag holders in this, right? So there's a lot of people that were buying this thing up. On the way down, they're just kind of thinking, made a little bit back. Maybe now's a good time to sell into some of the chaos, right? Alice says Roblox and Shop. Yep, I got Roblox on the list next, so I'm on the same page with that one. Again, earnings play, decent gap up. Looks like kind of cute gap. Let's see. Overnight little pivot. Technically it's a retest gap, but we're gapping above that pivot. So I like that. We got to start watching for some of the resistance coming in around 43.84. and probably about 44.70. So it still gives us a little bit of upside. If this one fades down to 40.76, I'd be a little bit more excited to buy this thing long. So maybe we get some kind of opening sell candle, but I do have this one pretty high on the list as well. I don't really have a great range on this thing, but yeah, I'm thinking long. Would love to see some kind of selling to take advantage of at open. But I'd want to stick long with this one. I just got to find an entry as to where, and I got to wait for that ding, ding, ding in the morning. If that comes in, we get some kind of selling that should give us something. But I do have that one decently high on the list. Shopify. Shopify, technically this would be a retest gap into resistance. So, and we have a big support resistance zone that we're into right now. So I would definitely be looking for more of a fade on this one. If it goes higher, so be it. I'll probably lose on the trade if I take it, but and then it's a downside. We'll see if we could get into this back to the 49.63 zone. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be my all out target, 49.63. I'm gonna move shop a little bit higher on the list too. It's a decent gap. Shop has earnings today. Yeah, but what time? They didn't report yet. I think you have to close. Okay, gotcha. So we'll see how this one wants to move, but we got some gap up. I don't know why this is gapping up pre-earnings then. Besides the fact that I don't know, everything else gaps up pre-market. That's not making any money. That's about it. Let's go to TTD. It's a nice little gap. I wouldn't want to see too much selling on this one. It is a retest gap. Again, great location. First spot, maybe we get some kind of a bounce, 57.91. And I would like it a lot more if we could get to about 57.02. So 57.02 would be my entry to attempt to go long on this thing. We have a little bit of resistance we're pushing into, but past that, we could get targets to about 61.47. Just in terms of ranges, I think TDD as one of the better potential moves, at least. Sue says trip bullish retest clearing immediate resistance on the trade desk. Why can't I talk? Trade desk. I'm gonna put this one pretty nice and high on the list. That's a very, very interesting gap. Yeah, we got up there twice. Good clearance. Let me see if there's any volume that's coming in. Anything? All the selling candles haven't really been that great. Lots of bullish volume there. Yeah, this one probably could pull back to about 56.92. That would be a very, very interesting spot. So we'll see if any of the bulls who might have been trapped on this thing that is now profitable look to sell, take a small little profit that dips this thing down to 57.02. That would be a spot to go long. Again, the upside on this one, we have a few levels in the way, but nothing really significant. We'll see. Nvidia and AMD, we got to watch those ones today. They might be sympathy plays to TSM, right? Warren Buffett hasn't stated why he sold. It could purely be because maybe there's a little conflict with China and Taiwan, and he might be a little concerned that you know what, I'm up rather quickly on my position, and it's not very common that he'll establish some type of position and then very, very quickly like this sell, right? So it's a very unusual play, but it is up a lot from where he got in. And if there is any looming potential breakouts of war that he might be concerned about, and just tensions escalating between China and Taiwan, he might be looking for safety play. He's not all out. He still owns a decent amount, just a lot less than he had before. So it would be very interesting to see when they do their conference exactly what the thought process was there. But if it's sector related, Nvidia AMD might be a little bit of a sympathy play. So we do have a little bit of a gap down. This gap by itself, without any news behind it, isn't really that impressive, right? But we do have two VPOCs. That should give us a very decent, secure spot where we should get some kind of resistance, probably somewhere in the 228.48 zone, 228.50. So having any stop above that, I mean, if that starts to break, then probably 240.79 is your next target. But otherwise, just inside day, right? So inside day, probably don't swing for the fences. I think we might be able to get down to 220.63. Hey, Elon, what's up, buddy? So yeah, 220.63 would be my target, and it's giving us a decent spot for stops. So we're gonna throw this up on the list. I can see how we could play this thing. Right. If we start breaking out of yesterday's high of the day, the trade's over. So in that case, we'll just happily take the loss on the effort. But there's some decent room to the downside, and then stops. We could, even if we get to, let's risk maybe $3.50. If it pans out, I mean, that's definitely 2 R's. I like it. Rock says I like Roblox at 38.98. You didn't really say what direction you like it. You didn't say long, short. You didn't say nothing. You just threw out the price, but I'm guessing you're gonna buy it. To go up. Okay, so 38.98. 38.98. Yeah, that would be a decent retest. I have to see how this thing starts to react around this 40. I'm not. There's not one I would throw a blind order in, because we could get a little bit more of a retest, for sure. But yeah, if that doesn't hold, so if we start getting a little bit lower into this 40.83, start breaching it, then I like your targets a lot. Otherwise, or entry a lot. Otherwise, could get the bounce there. It's gonna be tough to short. I would like to see some kind of pullback if I was to attempt to go long on this. And it is a pretty decent retest gap. It's just gapping above a huge pivot. So we will see HLF. All right, HLF. We got Herbalife. Wasn't this a big like MLM scheme at one point? They were trying to short their living poop out of it. Looks like that probably worked for a while. But yeah, good gap up. We do have a little bit of resistance ahead of us. First stop is pretty much where we're opening, about 18.10. Second one will be 18.24. So if we hang out in this range, we should get a retest. At least targets would be to about 17.33 would be my first stop. So I don't know if that's gonna be enough money to short it, but if we could get a buy around 17.33, that might make sense. And then we'd have some kind of stop, maybe closer to 16.50. Could be interesting. Alex says I won't be trading it, but CRDO is gapping down 45%. Must feel good to be an employee at this company. You go to work, you try your hardest. Obviously not hard enough. And then you're like, oh man, my company is now worth 45% less than when I went to sleep. I didn't have a dream. That was a nightmare. At least you have some kind of good support. That's all I could really say on this one. You have a decent support. It's not even the greatest support. This thing could probably come down a little bit lower. Probably looking for about $10.15 if you want to try it. What's the longer term picture? But that's, you're just trying to play some kind of fade on this thing. You have an absolute insane amount of people trapped from a bullish direction that I don't even know if that holds. I mean, whew. Credo. Credo. Didn't he lose to Rocky? Thought he lost to Rocky one time. But yeah, that's trapping just enormous amounts of people. I'll probably be holding off on that one as well, but watching it could be fun. That's catching a knife. I don't know. I mean, that's not a knife. This is a knife. We got Ford. Creed. No, yeah, no. It was Creed, but if you watch it in on Telemundo, it's Credo. Yeah, it's Credo on Telemundo. So Ford is yeah, gap now still inside the day of yesterday. Nice bullish candle was still kind of hanging into this. See, this would be like one of the ones where I'd say it might be worth entertaining the idea of, well, it's down, so buy it. Right, all dips are getting bought up in this market. I haven't seen anything really change. You are at some kind of support. You're at the lows of yesterday. You're still technically inside that high wave. This might be one to buy. I just don't know where targets would go. It's not a huge range. Even if we make it, we would have to make it roughly to the top of yesterday with some kind of very, very small entry to stop to really make this thing work. And I don't even know if we get up there, as we have a VPOC somewhere around 1297, and then we got 1307. So we'll see. Andi is gapping up. ANDE. And Ford is also not, so I'm a little biased, but Ford is not really my favorite stock in general to day trade. It kind of moves like a snail for the most part. And then you're also throwing it into an inside day. Maybe a little bit later if we see something good, but we will see. Ande, the Andersons. This is not even a company, it's just a family. You can short the entire family if you want to. The Andersons, this is 3805 is the last VPOC. Decent selling. We're still just in this. I mean, nice lower highs at least. It's not really good for day trades. It's low volume, but goes above all the past 5 trading months. Oh, wait, hold on. Am I not looking at the right? Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, I had to scroll out a little. I thought we weren't moving at all pre-market. All right, so we do have a little gap. Is this on earnings? Oh, perfect. This is on an earnings miss. So they missed by 27 cents per share. But they did have a surprise to the upside on revenue. So maybe that and maybe guidance is causing this thing to move a little bit higher. But that is a gap and go. You are clearing a couple levels. I'd see on this one and see if we get any kind of pullback if you do want to attempt a day trade. Yes, like you said, volume is going to be low on this one in general. Today you might get that extra catalyst because there's earnings. So it might be worth looking at. But I think you have to wait for some kind of fade, even though that is a gap and go. So don't be the first one to go long, but long would be definitely the direction. Oh, yeah, GoDaddy, definitely missed it. GDDY. GoDaddy. I don't believe they had any Super Bowl commercials this year. I'm not sure if they had any in the past couple of years either, but come to think of it, I don't think I saw any GoDaddy Super Bowl commercials. That looks a little bit like a Head and Shoulders to some extent. This was the neckline. Let me get that pen thingy. So this looks to me a little bit Head and Shoulders on this one. That would make this essentially your neckline. That was a good retest. Nice little fade. This is a gap and go. Yeah, Alicia, I kind of like this one to the short side of things. We'll throw this on the list. Let me clear this. GoDaddy. How do we only have 4 minutes and 50 seconds left? That's kind of absurd. GDDY. That's actually crazy. I thought we had like another 27 minutes still. Let's move this a little bit higher on the list. We'll throw it right above shop. Right in that area. So we have a few things to look at. The other one I'm watching is Bros. Just in general for myself. Nothing too crazy on a gap. But was kind of looking at a little TTM squeeze potential on it. We will see. 900 trillion float. Oof. Ford stop production on EVs. Is that the news that Tesla's moving off of? I know you guys said Tesla. I looked at a pre-market too, but We didn't look at it together as a team. So let's pull Tesla up. But yeah, Tesla has a nice gap. That could be related to the Ford news. I don't really know what the other potential news is. Tesla investor Ross Gerber seeks board seat. Tesla said to cut back on Shanghai production. All right. Tesla agreement to open charging. Okay. That's interesting. I do kind of like this gap. We do have some room up to about 222 potentially. I'm actually going to scoot this one up on the list pretty high as well. This is a retest gap. We'll see if we get some selling to come in. Doesn't have to be a full retest. If it does, okay. But that'd be 209.50. If we got Ford getting out of the EV game, terrific. That helps out Tesla. And then if we do have charging stations open, we got a couple catalysts on Tesla. And I do have this a little bit of a longer term target, 222. I don't know if we hit that today, but it's possible, especially if the market does want to push up and everyone just buys dips on everything. All right, game plan. If anything is red, buy it. Just buy anything red. That's the only way to play this market. Pat, you got a lot to learn. I suggest doing some tutorials on TDA, just catch up some YouTube comments, but only one share at a time. You can learn a lot. Placing orders. Yep. For that's good. Pat, I believe just got Think or Swim, I believe. So congrats to that. And anytime you use a new platform, whether it's a TOS, whether it's TrendSpider, whatever it is, TradingView, just back trade, practice, get one share. Make sure you know how to do the orders because you don't want to make a wrong move. It's hard enough to day trade. You don't want to lose on trades because you were right, but the entry was just wrong. So let's see. We got 1 minute and 45 seconds left. Any other last minute tickers that we could put in? Otherwise, we do have a list. We got Tesla, we got TTD, TSM. I'm going to be watching Airbnb, Roblox, GoDaddy, Shopify, Nvidia. We should probably throw AMD a little bit higher on this list as well. I'll put that right after Nvidia. Bros, I don't know if we're going to take a trade. Qs was also in a squeeze too. So Qs, I wouldn't be surprised if we do run bullish today as well on the Qs, but we'll see if we get some pullbacks first. PLTR is going to be an interesting one. So it is pretty high on my list, but it would be more continuation from yesterday. So I would expect some kind of pullbacks, fades. Maybe we'd rest for a day. That was a massive 21% gainer yesterday. So some kind of inside day resting candle would make some sense. Otherwise, we got 50 seconds left. Everybody, YouTube land, make sure on the way out, you guys hit that. I can't believe that 30 minutes is up. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button, like, subscribe, do whatever YouTube people tell you to do. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow morning with you guys. Be safe out there in the markets. Also, if you guys have not checked out on reallifetrading.com, we do have all of the education. And Pat, I believe you just got TOS. If you need help with anything, we do have tutorials. I know my boy Thomas Wong put a whole bunch together as well. Just type in Think or Swim, real life trading, and you should get some tutorials on how to use that too. So that could be super helpful for you. And also, if there's anything in the market, essentially at this point, we have so many videos out there. Just type your question and put real life trading after it, and there's probably a video. If not, shoot me an email, support at reallifetrading.com, and that we'll just make the video. Otherwise, you guys are incredible.